Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.
Welcome back.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening to us today on today's episode of
Momentum. We have fun doing that. So let's just go through everything we've been doing. We've been doing so much, and let's just give our audience just an insight on what's going on in our lives right now.
Okay, well, absolutely. So for the last few weeks, I was actually, building a business. I don't have a lot of income coming in just yet, but I know I will. I've got 5 clients I'm currently working with.
5. That's super exciting.
And it's awesome because it is something I am so passionate about, and I am enjoying working with these families. But it does take time, and it takes time before the referrals will come in.
So these are these are referrals to place older people into living situations.
Yes. So one of the parts of my business is Fuller Life is a placement agency. Okay. So I help seniors and their families find the right place to live. I'm working with 5 families right now.
Wow, 5 is a lot.
Yes, I'm super excited. It has been word of mouth. It has been part of my networking systems. People have been sending people my way. And that's something that I'm continuing to do and work on different connections and collaborations to be able to network and get the word out about my business, Fuller Life. And so, but it does take time. It is a free resource to families.
Okay.
So
you're like a real estate
they
agent
have to
or
pay.
Something. Yeah.
But there is, once they finally move into the home, once I help them select it and, give them options to look at, go on site visits with them and, really determine the best care situation for them as well, then they would have to physically move in. Once they physically move in, the community is so grateful for the referral that they will send me a check. So that's how, we are funded and how we continue to move forward and help more and more families.
So people can reach out to you directly off this podcast, right?
Yes.
If they want you to do something like that for them.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it is my passion. It's something that I have personally done with my own family several times. My grandmother, who had Alzheimer's, and so I had to find the right community for her, which seeing her in the right environment was so... that's a struggle that families go through when they see their loved one struggling with a disease such as Alzheimer's and the things that they go through. And you just want to help. You just want to be there for them. And sometimes the best place for them is not always at home where, we're having to work 5 days a week and, get out of the house and who's going to remain in the home helping your loved one going through these struggles. So there's many times when a community may be this best situation for them. And I've seen that with my own grandmother and then my father, who I've had to place in different types of communities at different types of his life. So I have the personal connection and the personal experience as well as the professional. I've worked in the industry for quite a few years. And so anyways, I have 5 clients I'm working with there. And
great.
But until those families move in, there's, it's going to take time to build the money. So in the meantime, I will do whatever it takes to continue to be in this situation, being able to help these families. So I took a seasonal job at UPS, which is so ironic because my aunt just retired from there after working for UPS for 30 years as a delivery driver. I worked for UPS as a seasonal driver for 2 weeks, and I have no idea how she did it for 30 years. But I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It is definitely something I could do for maybe a month or two, on a seasonal basis. But I don't know how I would be able to do it for 30 years because it's very strenuous.
But it's a great opportunity, though, for people out there that are wanting to leave a full-time job, but they still need to make money. Things like these seasonal jobs like at UPS or driving Uber or doing DOORDASH. These give you some opportunities to still get some flow of income in. While giving you that flexibility. So I think it's amazing that you did that.
And they can also do it on a part-time basis. And they can do it just for a chunk of time, either early morning or midday or late evening. And there's different positions. So, sometimes taking a part-time job in order to be able to allow the flexibility of working on a full-time business is something that people may need to do.
And it's awesome that you did it, and I'm so proud of you. And on our Facebook page, you're going to see a picture of, what was that, 24 huge boxes in one of your shipments?
Yes.
I want you to post that so people see.
I will definitely get that out there.
And I want to, just point out that we're real people. We're real moms. We're not coming in having made it millionairesses telling you how to do it. We are on this journey, and I think a lot of you are on it as well or want to be on it. So we're not going to hide the fact that she worked at UPS for 2 weeks over Christmas and broke her back doing it, right? So that you could have the freedom to really go after this passion you have. I love that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And, I will share some, people think of pros and cons of everything. And yes, it was hard work, but I looked at all the positives. And number one, there are actually some really nice people out there. It was so sweet. They left little baskets of snacks and goodies with a sign that said, for all the delivery drivers, please take a snack. And, honestly, I'd never thought of that before as a person receiving packages, but I'm going to start doing that because it just kind of helped give me a little bit of boost of energy and excitement to get through the rest of my day. Yeah. And it was very strenuous, but I looked at it as a challenge, as a workout. I'm like, I am going to be losing so much weight over these next 2 weeks.
That's part of your plan.
And had my I had my Fitbit on, and I literally walked between 15,000 and 20,000 steps every single day.
And you got paid to do it.
And I got paid to do it. Good. And I got to listen to our podcast in the car while I'm driving around the neighborhood looking for the next address to deliver packages to. And, I have to say I really did enjoy it. It was something that, I kind of felt like a little Santa's helper, delivering these packages to people. And sometimes, you're kind of carrying this package and you realize, oh, there's medication in here. Right. So it's a really important job to do, and especially during the season when there is so many extra packages being delivered, they need that extra help.
I'm so glad you did it. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I mean, that was such hard work, and I'm also really glad we did so much setup before so that you could go and do it, because we were all prepared for you to take some time to do that.
So it all worked out so well, including there was one day that my shift did not need to be covered. So they let me know early in the morning that my shift was not prepared that day, that I wouldn't be needed in that one day. And instead, I decided to take that day and go visit all the communities. So I was able to, I was actually kind of excited. I was like, oh, yes, I can work on my business today.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I went and I was able to visit 5 communities out in the Santa Clarita Valley. And I made such great connections, including making connections with groups that are part of additional networking groups that I'll now be part of.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And one of the gentlemen is referring somebody to our podcast. So
that's it. That's
so
great.
It's just, talking about what we're doing with others opens additional doors, opens other opportunities. So continue to, talk about
we've
your
talked
passions.
about that a lot. You have to tell people what you're doing, and then they're going to refer you to their friend, or they're going to start listening, or they're going to recommend. I mean, if people don't know your secret passions inside, no one's going to be able to listen to them at all, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it was so funny. There was this one house I delivered to, and for some reason she wanted to deny the package because it was the wrong thing she ordered. But then she realized it was the right thing she ordered, so she comes chasing me down the street. Wait, I do need the package after all. And it got us into this little conversation, and I told her about our podcast. It was so funny. And I said, I'm just doing this seasonally, and we were talking, and I said, but I'm building a business, and I'm also doing a podcast. Listen to us, Momentum.
Yeah, that's
so.
And people probably find that so fascinating. Like, you're doing a podcast?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of people. There are people who never listen to podcasts. Like, I've never listened to a podcast. How do you listen to a podcast? Yeah. I mean, that actually happened to me. I was visiting at someone's house, and one of our aunts, the daughter had to set her up to even figure out how to use her phone to listen to a podcast. So that was great. And then, a lot of people that I've talked to about it have said things like, I'd love to be a guest on your podcast. I mean, the only way, or you find out, I have my own podcast. And you're like, I didn't know you had a podcast. I didn't know you had a podcast.
Yeah.
It's kind of a whole little world I never knew anything about, and now we're in it.
It is. And it's so awesome. I would never have thought of doing this podcast if it wasn't for you, Ariella. And now that we're doing this, it is opening other doors. And I have people in the senior living industry, or the senior industry, that want to do a podcast with me.
And now you're expanding experienced,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Even a few months of experience is so much compared to someone who's never done it.
Yeah.
Because we've had to learn a lot really fast. So you're not a newbie. I mean, we're newbies and we have to learn how to promote the podcast and all of this stuff, but we actually know how to sit down and record now. And we're on Podbean, and click a link in the description if you're interested at all in starting your own podcast. It's a great hosting site, and we've had to figure all of this out. So you're not a newbie anymore.
No, not at all. But there's always room for improvement.
Oh,
There's
we got so much to learn.
Always more to do, and always more to learn.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting doing this all with you.
It's so awesome. So I've been really busy. I just want to catch our listeners up on some of the things I've been doing. I recorded a few weeks ago. I recorded for the Talented Magical Mommies Club, which is yet to come out, but it should come out soon. I've been recording all kinds of interviews for other talented mommies, and one of them, this woman named Yolanda Jameson, who's amazing. She's she makes her own clothing, and she teaches sewing, and she's fantastic. Anyway, she was telling me about how she is creating these reels on Facebook. And how that they're monetized. And I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And the minute she told me that, because, I used to have videos all the time. I had a YouTube channel. And to get monetized on YouTube, it's very complicated. It's really hard to do. And I had been doing that regularly for a long time. But there was a couple years I shut down over COVID. And all this new stuff has come out. And just that one conversation with her, I mean, that's a perfect example. She just mentioned, I'm like, you're monetized for your reels? And it just opened this whole world up, and I dove into it after that. And I found out, how to get monetized. It's very complicated. I'm not there yet. But so as a result, it spurred something in me. And now every single day I am releasing a new reel. I have it set up on my Facebook Voice Lessons to Go account, and it's a professional account. I'm learning all about that. And now I'm at a point where people can send me stars, which is, it's like kind of online money. No one's done it yet, but still I'm at that point. Eventually, hopefully I'll be able to be monetized if I have enough views, and they have to select you. It's kind of, I'm learning, but I've done so much setup, Theresa, just like we did for our podcast.
Yes.
So I have started a TikTok channel. I never had that before. I never thought I would, but turns out there's a lot of people teaching on TikTok.
Yes.
It's not just for kids who are dancing. Yeah. So, and people had told me many times, you should do TikTok. So I set up a TikTok channel. I'm posting reels on there every day. I brought my Instagram to life. I had a few members on it, but I had never really done anything with Instagram. Right. And I hooked my Instagram to my Facebook, and now I'm posting on Instagram reels. And now they offered me something that I can have partners, I can have businesses partner with me. I don't really know much about it yet, but hopefully someone will choose me for that. Yeah. And I'm posting on my YouTube again for the first time. They have something now called YouTube Shorts. They didn't used to have that. Yeah. So I'm taking these reels that I'm making under 60 seconds, and I'm using something called CapCut to cut them. And put little lyrics and put words and little stickers. I'm having to learn how to do all of this stuff. And it's under 60 seconds, and then I'm repurposing them for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I'm also going to now, I have to get back into my LinkedIn and into my Twitter, and where else can I be posting things? Right. And it sounds like no big deal. She's making these reels, and it's on 4 platforms. But to get to that point, to open up all of these platforms and to sign up for them and to get everything going, I'm putting everything in place, finding the passwords, and all of this stuff is being put into place. Yes. And so what's great is now that I'm doing that regularly, now I'm getting ready to do even more,
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew there was something similar to Reels on Instagram too. Yeah. And I have heard there's a lot of new stuff out there. Yeah. Even just in the last few months, they've created additional things, suggestions I think they've created. And I'm not sure how to get involved in that. But when you start to go into certain things in your Instagram and your Facebook, it learns that you might be interested in this as well. Exactly. And how do we get in there? Yeah. So the more of these reels and the lives and the whatever they call it on each platform that we do, it brings more awareness to us, to
our brand,
puts us more gives us more opportunity for other things.
Yeah, and I'm getting better at making them now. Like at first I just started making them. And that's the thing, even like with our podcast, at first we just started. We didn't know what we were doing. We still don't know a lot, but we're better now.
Yeah.
But like my first reel, I just made something, it has to be under 60 seconds. I used to do long-term voice lesson videos all the time. So it's long running. But so it was easy to do it. But after I posted it, I realized, I got to do hashtags. How do I know what hashtags I need to? So I have to investigate that. And then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, I'm not even sending them anywhere. I should send them to my Voice Lessons to Go website. Right. And then it occurred to me the last couple of them, I'm like, I should show one of my CDs. And, that's a simple thing. Be like, I have it. I showed them something, said, you can find this in volume 1, Voice Lessons to Go. And so I show it for 1 second. It's just, I'm slowly trying to learn how to really purpose these where they make sense for me.
Yeah.
And, and then we'll have to figure out if we're going to do anything like that for Momentum, know?
Right.
And I'm learning through Voice Lessons to Go. I'm learning something that could help us for momentum.
Yes. It all connects and it all helps each other. And the collaboration with ourselves, with our community, and with our businesses. It all connects.
Yeah. And it's that moment where I was speaking with Yolanda and she said this one thing to me. And now for like 2 weeks straight, I've been doing it nonstop. And I wasn't even thinking about doing that.
Right.
So if you don't get out there and talk to people, or go to the conference. Like, why do people pay for conferences to do this stuff? They can just learn on their own. Well, because they're going to be around like-minded people. And they're going to learn from them. You're going to learn from other people. And that's really important. It's really important.
Absolutely. And, everything is figure-outable.
Yes.
And whether it is, just asking somebody who has already been there, done that, or just trying to figure it out on your own, or, saying it out loud sometimes helps you figure it out, but also, like she just said, you never know who's listening and who might be able to share additional information to help you along the way.
Yeah, and there's so many, really take advantage. I especially use YouTube, but there's so many tutorials on everything. So, I'm spending time watching tutorials on how to monetize for Instagram or for TikTok or for Facebook, or now I'm trying to figure out, like, if I make a reel, do I post it to a story or do I just post it as a reel? And how do I share it to Instagram? And then if it shares automatically, do I also put one on Instagram? Like, there's so many things to learn, but there are people out there that are making these videos for free and you can learn from them. So that's really important. Also on Facebook, there's all these groups. Like, I didn't even think about it. Like, I became an Amazon associate and I have an affiliates link now. Well, there's all kinds of Facebook groups where people just talk to each other and give each other advice. Yeah. So go out and, if you're on Facebook, go look in the groups. If there's something you're interested in, there's a group about it. And go ask your questions and just sit and learn.
Just search it. You'll find a million things that pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to celebrate every time we get a new state or a new country.
We're international.
Oh my gosh, we have a listener from Canada and we have a listener in Argentina. Can't believe it.
Awesome.
So welcome. Thank you for listening. And we're going to keep announcing every time we get a new state or a new country. It's so fun for us to look up all those stats on Podbean. We love it.
So keep sharing and liking and posting and commenting on our Facebook group page.
That's it for this week. We wanted to do a real good check-in with what we've been doing.
Yep.
We are in the process of setting up some great interviews coming up soon.
Yes, we're so excited about our interviewees. We have at least 3 or 4 people that are already interested in it being interviewed by us. We're just trying to schedule that time and get those episodes out to you all. But I can't wait.
Have a great week, everybody.
Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing the quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.